What's going on, members? It's your boy Lesiba Mothupi and welcome back onto my YouTube channel. On today's video, we're going to be doing something amazing, on which yesterday I got to ask you guys questions on Instagram that you can ask me anything that you want to know, and what I'll do is that I'll be answering that in video form, meaning that this video is designed especially for that. I'll be answering all these questions that I got off Instagram, and then I'll be some deep questions that I got, and also some clean questions, questions that I actually laughed at while reading. And basically, I just want to be going through all those questions, and then I'll just show you guys, maybe mention out the names of these people that ask, and then I'll be answering all these things. So I do believe that you are going to find this video very valuable, because that's when you'll understand me a bit better. That's when you'll get to know me a bit more, much more on a deeper level. And I think this is the way, because also I get a lot of DMs, and it's very tough because I'm actually one person. It's very tough of me to be able to reply back to those DMs. So this is actually one of the most best way that I can actually handle these things. So
started with $1 in a dream. This one for all the people that said I couldn't do it.
One of the questions that I got here is, I'll be starting out, I'll just be doing random ones. So one of the questions that I have here is Steven asking me, my question is, what is your view on NAS 100 this coming week? Okay, so other questions I don't think I'll be diving a bit more too deep into, because I posted a video yesterday where I was speaking about NASDAQ, what it is that I'm seeing on NASDAQ and so on. So obviously I'm seeing a short-term short setup though. Is buying signals a good choice if yet you don't afford the course? This is Sandisi. She's asking if buying signals is a good choice if you don't yet afford the course. So basically, I wouldn't say that it's a good choice, because the most important thing in Forex is for you to be able to capture the skills. So most people tend to become much more comfortable, let's say, if they do take signals. First of all, if you don't have the knowledge, it's going to be difficult to make money while trading signals. I've never found someone making consistent profits if they don't have the knowledge. But let's say, you are following risk management, you are making profits and so on. You are going to end up becoming a bit more comfortable, yes, because you'll be seeing that, okay, I'm making money anyways, so even if I do take the course and so on, I can still rely on this person for these signals. So I wouldn't say that it's a good choice unless you are seeing, like, for instance, like when I started, I remember I took signals for only a month, but I didn't even finish that month. I think I participated for 4 days, because I saw that I was posting nice profits and so on. So I thought that the market isn't moving with me, so I took signals just to see what this guy is doing, and the way that he was trading, the strategy and so on, it wasn't how I wanted to trade. So I just took those signals for 3 days, but it was actually a short-term thing. Even I had goals of, even if I do take these signals, I just want to take them, grow my account quick, and then I'll be able to just withdraw and then do this, but that didn't work out at the end. So buying signals, you should buy if you don't have time to trade, but you should know how to manage your capital so you don't blame the next person. How do you work on your inner self in a way that you will be how do you work on your inner self in a way that will impact your trading? That is Bandilone. So he's asking, how is it that one does work in their inner self in a way that will impact their trading? I don't know. I think that to focus on the inner self, you need to actually be looking at the bigger picture, or what actually your vision is. Once you understand what your vision is, once you understand what your purpose is, then you'll be able to understand a bit more deeper of the why, because the most important thing is the why. Why is it that you're trading? Why is it that you are executing this trade? Do you have that enough knowledge to be able to make that decision? If you're buying, do you have enough knowledge to be able to buy? If you're selling, and so on. But the most important thing is why. So once you do get your why, then you'd be able to understand, you'd be able to push a lot of things. Once I got to understand my why, that's when I was able to push a lot of things. So is Forex your main stream of income? Yes, to be honest, even for me today, you do know that I have multiple sources of income, but that's all because of Forex. Because if it wasn't for Forex, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't have Forex chases. If it wasn't for Forex, I wouldn't be even having this YouTube channel. If it wasn't for Forex, I wouldn't be, there's a lot of things that if it wasn't for Forex, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be able to do, because once I was able to focus on one thing and grow in that one thing, I was able to see multiple businesses that I can still be able to capitalize from, but being in one field. So I don't have to be, here I am, I'm trading, the next thing I'm doing something very different from trading, the next time I'm doing something way more different, on which trading is actually something that I love. So I want to stick to this. Okay, that is Neo ask us that, and then now Theo is asking, kindly recommend books materials to enhance one's trading performance. So I would say that one of the best things that you can do is to invest yourself, instead of in strategy books, but to invest yourself into psychology books. We've got, let's say, I remember one book that I read, I read Naked Forex. I read, what's that other one book? I actually forgot the name, because now I'm thinking of, when you think of something too deep, and then you get to forget about it. But I've read the Trading Coach. That one, I read it multiple times, and there's multiple books that even in the Telegram group I get to post a bit more about them. But I'll also make sure to post more about that. And okay. Once I do get to remember some of these books, all going into the answers, I'll be able to let you know. Theo and King, how much is the mentorship program? I enjoy the analysis of the charts. Okay, how much is the mentorship program? Yes, mentorship program, which is Forex Jesus 2.0, it's currently going at $497. So it's a once-off fee, and you get to have one-on-one mentorship and so on, which is done digitally. And that was Jason. Walter Joes is asking, what do you think about trading software? Do you recommend that? If yes, why? What do I think about it? I once used to trade with the system, but it didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? Because I didn't have the knowledge, because I remember it was that time when I was still trading with my partners and so on. So the method that we're trading is that when the system was saying buy, we were buying. When they were saying sell, we were selling, on which it's not the best way to trade a system. The best way that I can say is that is for you to have your own perspective towards the market, for you to have your own views towards the market, and then you look at the system just to confirm your if let's say you're seeing a buy and all these things, the system should actually confirm your entry, basically, not the system giving you the whole setup. So it's a good thing as long as it's going with you, like you are also independent on that. Unless, because if you're not, then you'd be able to say it's the system's fault, it's not my fault. We don't want that, ne? What currency pairs do you love trading most? I would say USD MXN. I love that the most. USD MXN has been good to me. I used to love GBP JPY, but ever since like the year, I only took a few trades on it. I haven't been finding beautiful setups on it. So I'll say USD MXN for now, since I'm also jumping into oil and all these things. So those are nice too. But you're asking about currencies, so also USD MXN. Okay, Forex Kid and is saying we should come visit Namibia. Definitely, one day soon we should be in Namibia, and I'll be there. We'll get to meet up. And I don't think I'll be there because of seminars and courses and all these things. I'll just come there to just check the place, and then we can get to meet up and all these things, because I don't do physical seminars or physical classes and so on. How to spot breakouts? That's Alwande is asking, how do you spot a fake or a fake breakout? Is asking, how does one spot a fake breakout? So basically, I'd say that once a breakout does happen, firstly, you need to be looking at that it should break out from that same trend line that you've drew. Meaning that if, let's say, most people draw a line using the 4 hour, but when the 1 hour candle closes above that line, they think that it's a breakout, on which it's not a breakout. For it to be a breakout, the 4 hour candle should close above that line. Then that's when it's a valid breakout. But when it's a fake out, it's when it does, let's say, go a bit more to the upside, but it doesn't close impulsively. It actually rejects and then it goes a bit more down. Or if it does break out, impulsively, but the next candlestick is actually a 1 hour retracement candlestick, meaning that it goes a bit more to the downside. It could be engulfing, but a bearish close candlestick. So if it's in a bullish market, so that's how you can be able to just see if this is actually a fake out or a real breakout. That's why once a breakout does happen, the best strategy that you can take is if it's a buy one and it does break out, you need to place a buy stop above that candlestick that last closed, so it does confirm when it goes up. What's your thoughts on GBP, JPY, and Euro USD? That's Audio Marcina. Okay, some of the names I won't be able to say them here, but he or she is asking, what are my thoughts on GBP and JPY and Euro USD? I didn't have that as my analysis. I tried to analyze it during the weekend, but I didn't find any clean setups of them, so I just left them like that. So I wouldn't say I see a long-term sell or a long-term buy and so on when I didn't find setups. I'm the trader that if I don't find setups, I stay away from that market. Moronga is asking, is Forex real? So it's a question that Moronga is asking, is Forex real? Yes, Moronga, Forex is real. You know, people make money trading Forex. You also get to make money trading Forex. How do you make money trading Forex? If you are now going to Zimbabwe, if you are now going to, you know, UK, if you're going to USA, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna take that rands, the amount of rands that you have, and you're gonna have to exchange it into dollar form. So if let's say now dollar is 17 rands, and you know $100 is actually 1.7, 1,700 rands. If you have $100, let's say you bought dollars from South Africa. When you bought them, the price was like 15 rands, and when you go to you know, America, USA for a few months, let's say 3 months, but only to find out that you know, the USD ZAR gained a bit more strength. So when you come back, obviously the exchange range is going to be a bit more to the upside. So you're gonna be like, let's say if you take that $100 that you went there with, then you coming back, you have to exchange, that's a profit that you made without even, you know, trading, like literally like buying or selling. But that's just how it is. So the Forex market does work. As long as there's a currency, there'll be Forex. Okay, Kolani is asking me, how's it, man? I'm looking for a mentor, or at least can you get me through the market? Would you? Definitely, Kolani, there's no problem, man. I've got my YouTube channel here for you. You know, you can get to learn a lot of you know, information that I get to share. I've got also, I like to put down in the description box, I like to put down the link to my free course, super valuable. You can get access to that too, and also my Telegram group, get access to that. So that's definitely no problem. Make a video on how to backtest, that is Jetly, and I do have a video on how to backtest. Just go back onto my YouTube channel, whereby you'd be able to see the how to use the bar replay button to backtest and so on. And I'll make another video in depth moving forward, but that is the start of it. Okay, Apiwe is asking, can I start? There's a lot of questions here, and I can see the time is even moving, but Apiwe is asking, can I start trading Nasdaq with 1,000? And if so, which broker would you recommend I use? Okay, I will, for the broker that I use, I'll leave the link down in the description box, whereby you'd be able to get access to that, though there's a minimum fee to it, so you'd be able to see if that's something that you're willing to cover. But you know, can you start trading Nasdaq with 1,000 rands? Of course, you can start trading with any amount of money. You know, that's investment. When I started trading, I started with $22, which is 300 rands. So even Nasdaq, I started trading. You can check my video back in December. I uploaded a video about speaking about Nasdaq. I funded my account with 1,500 rands, and you know, I didn't have enough information, that's why I lost money. But I came back after a month, after backtesting. I came back to the markets, and that was when I was actually able to make profits, because that way I was actually able to take a $5,000 account, 5,000 rands account to over 40,000. I was able to take 1,000 rands account to over 11,000 within a short period of time. So that was a bit more risky, but you can start trading with that. Zara is asking, okay, I don't think some of these are names, it's actually usernames, but it's asking, can you please respond to my message? So thank you in advance. Okay, I'll get to go through it. And Papi is asking, scalping analysis. Okay, I'm not sure if I understand this, but I don't scalp, so I don't think even scalping there's analysis. I think they just have support resistance. When it hits support, they buy, resistance, they sell. I'm not too sure. That is how I was doing back then, with scalping like that. Muzi is asking, how do you deal with the emotional part of a loss in Forex trading? So it all depends on what it is that you are losing. So if you are losing only a specific amount of capital, like that capital that you didn't mind losing, then you won't actually feel it. But you know, yes, it's a loss, you lost money, but the most important thing for you is to be able to get something out of the trade. If you lost, what is it that you have learned? That's how I saw it. I told myself that, you know, from now on, I'm still a student. I'm a student even. I want to be a student. So I don't lose in Forex. I learn and I win. I learn and I win. And I told myself that, and I started focusing more on, if I do lose, I have to make sure why I lost. I have to make sure and be able to understand why I took that loss. But in the profit side, or even if I do get to profit, but now since we're speaking about losses, you need to also risk a specific amount of your capital. If you have $100 account, make sure that you don't risk more than $3 per trade at least, or $2 per trade, even though it's a bit more, you know, it's like what, 2%, 3%, but make sure that you don't risk more than that. Then that way you'll be able to see that even these losses that you take, you'll be able to go through them, because at the end of the day, it's not like they're taking a large number of your capital, ne? Would you advise anyone to use the Octa FX broker? I do get to be asked a lot about different types of brokers, but I can't really say much about that because I personally never traded with Octa Forex before, so I don't know much about it. But I've got a video where I speak about brokers, on how to choose a broker, as long as it's regulated, as long as you see reviews from people that are able to withdraw, as long as it meets your minimum requirement of the minimum deposit that's needed, and as long as it has the instruments that you want, then I think that you can go for it. And also you can just check out someone that has used it before and hear from them if it's a good broker. Were you a part of Falcon? If not, who were your mentors? Yes, I was a part of Falcon, and they taught me very well, taught me a lot about progression, taught me a lot about the mindset and so on. So I'm glad that I actually did become a part of it, because there was a time whereby at my starting journey, I don't want to be mentioning names, but I took a course right here in South Africa, and to be honest, it was like a 5-day course or 4-day, I'm not too sure, but they taught me something that I already knew from the internet. So I needed more. I needed obviously to improve my mindset and so on. So that's when I went out there and then I got more information. How can I make money? That is baby B, ne? Okay, so Nolo Hector is asking, how can I make money like you? Trade Forex. But yeah, the last shepherd is asking, is it required for Forex traders to pay tax on profits in South Africa? If so, how is it calculated? How is it calculated? Okay, sorry about that. I'm actually looking, I've got my laptop here. So we took a trade on gold. Okay, I'm not too sure if you guys can see it. We took a trade on gold. So I don't like seeing the markets, like actually when the market is moving right now, because it is a bit more, it's a bit more tricky. But let me just show you guys real quick a trade that we executed. Now, luckily or fortunately, we were able to log in some profits. So it's now moving at, okay, yes, DMX and just activated as you can see here. Okay, gold, I actually shared it in the team too, so you can even see here it's giving us a few profits. You can see here it's giving us a few profits. I'm not too sure if you can see that. Okay, I'm not too sure if you guys were able to see that, but it's actually 2.3 thousand rands. Okay, so I don't want to be seeing the markets, when it's moving, it's a bit more tricky. But yeah, members asking about tax. The last shepherd is asking about tax. I didn't start paying too much attention into tax up until I started making money, like decent amounts of money. So I'm not too sure on also how it works, like if because I think you can also work it out with your broker or so on. So it's something that you just need to sit down with an accountant, because I don't know too much about these finances and stuff. So what I done is that I was able to get an accountant, and the person is able to tell me, okay, since I see this much hit your account from this specific amount of thing, and I've also got banks in the US, and I've got offshore accounts and so on. So it actually does help me to be able to sit with someone that's a bit more experienced in order to tell me on what it is that I should do, because instead of me being texted twice, like that side and this side, he's able to let me know that, okay, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. So you shouldn't even be worrying about tax up until you start making some money. I wasn't worrying about it up until I started making money. Moody Theory. Okay, Moody Theory is asking, what is winning accuracy on your signal services? Okay, so obviously it does depend on the market conditions too, because there's times whereby we can get to have 78% win rate. It's just like moving in this months whereby it drops a bit more, 64, 65, somewhere around there. It also depends on the market condition, on which market condition. It's also a part of, it plays a bit more with the fundamental. Find out that the market is actually in a correction zone on the bigger time frames, even though we are seeing that, yes, the momentum has to go to the upside, but it's not ready to go to the upside yet. So those are a bit more challenging, but I'd say that the accuracy that I have backtested and that I've took note of is actually 76.2 percentages. Not a question. This is Donovan. Not a question though, but signal for Monday. Signal for Monday. Okay, not too good with Zulu, but Donovan is asking for a signal for Monday, and you can jump into gold and you can just. I spoke about just watch. Yeah, I spoke about it on. It's not even a signal, but you are able to see my mindset towards it. Okay, the last shepherd is asking, how do you buy your cars, cash or credit? If they are financed, did you only provide your personal details? He's asking, okay, let me see. If they are financed, did you only provide your personal bank statement? Okay, no. My first car which I had was the VW Polo. that one day I wanted to buy it for myself, like, get it via the bank method and so on, but it didn't work out. So what I had to do is I had to just sit down, I had to actually be like a middleman, sit down with a person that has credit and so on. Like I managed to have spoken with my dad. So I sat down with them, I showed him my bank statements that I afford this car, I want this car, but I actually wanted that car for business wise, not for personal uses, because I don't think that I would be, I wanted it for business wise, for Taxify and so on. So I sat down with him, I showed him, this, I afford this car, I can pay it monthly, but the banks don't want to give me this car, so can you please help me be able to take this car? It was a bit more sketchy at first, but he eventually did take it. So the car that I own now, which is the Mercedes-Benz A45, that one there I went for it straight cash, but I didn't want to buy it cash. I won't lie, I didn't want to buy it cash. I wanted to buy it via finance, but the banks just said no to me. They said no to me, they declined me, they said no to me, they said I'm high risk and so on. So I eventually just had to go and buy it cash, and after I bought it cash, now luckily I've got my accountant. It was before I think I've got my accountant recently, so he's going to be the one that's helping me be able to move forward, because when you do get to buy things on finance, you're also building your credit, so that's a good thing moving forward in business. So I want to also focus a bit more on that. But yeah. How long did it take you before you found consistency? How long did it take you before you found consistency? It took me a few, like let's say a year and 2 months, because I started trading in 2017, 2018, close to, middle to around the end. That's when I started finding, consistency in that I'm really making money off the markets and so on. So I would say a year and a few months. And at that time, I was still teaching myself, because, I want to act like, a good person and say, I'm just self-taught and all these things. I took a course, like I did say, I took a course, but it didn't teach me anything that I wanted to learn, that I needed to learn. So I just had to continue feeding myself with more valuable knowledge. Okay, that was Burberry RSA. Did you start trading alone, or did you have a group of friends that you worked with? Obviously, I had a group of friends that we sat together, would sit down here, my laptop, then we would be eating on the markets like this, it'd be like, I'm buying. But it's a bit more tricky, because you'd be seeing a buy, you'd be seeing a sell, and it's a bit more tricky. But I didn't start trading on my own. How one can grow a small account from $30? That is Andile Zikali. $30 depends on what your goals are, because if you want to grow it all the way to $5,000, obviously you have to use the compounding method that I speak about, which is you have to just keep on, make small profits, like, now and then also be able to just deposit now and then when you do get the capital. But if not, then the best way that I always tell my friends, even when they ask me how can one grow a very small account, is to find let's say one thing that I've done is I look at, especially USDMX, and since I love it, look at USDMX and look at the long-term move of it. I see that it's going to be dropping for 5,000 pips to the downside, and what I do is that I find an entry on a much more smaller time frame, and then I hold it for weeks, because you can't try to take $30 to $1,000 rapidly without risking big. Obviously you can, but you have to risk big. So if you don't want to risk big, $30, let's say you go in USDMX and you risk $3 per trade, you take 2 trades or 3 trades. If it takes you want to lose $9, and if it does go down, like a week, you find out that you're holding, I don't know, like $40 off of just one single position, and it's like $40. It's how much? $120. Then just like that. So you just have to look at a big move, then target it. Now, Shill Score is asking, from which time frame do you analyze a market pair from? How many pairs do you focus on? So I start off with the bigger time frame first. I start off first with the bigger time frame, all the way from, but weekly I don't check it each and every week. I don't check it each and every day. Obviously it will be just one candle. But sorry about that. But what I do is that I look at the bigger time frame, look at what the momentum is saying, look at the daily, look at what the direction is saying, look at the 4 hour, look at what the pattern is saying, look at the 1 hour, try to see if I can get any entries on the 1 hour, but also if I can find entries on the 15 minutes, that's much more better, because my stop loss is going to be a bit more fixed, minimum. And how many pairs do you focus on? Let's say for a week I would have, I'd be looking at top 10 pairs that are like here, like looking at them, watch list. My watch list would be top 10 pairs, but I focus on top 6 pairs. Out of the top 10, I pick top 6, the highest quality, and then I focus on them for the week. When are you okay, Flower Boy is asking, when are you doing a giveaway for people who are having a hard time to fund their accounts? Something that I thought of, so you should be expecting giveaways from me soon. Just stay tuned, and you'll be able to get that, ne? Okay, so I'm getting a call from potential fraud. Potential fraud is saying, but yeah. Sniper N3 King is asking, what leverage should a break-even trader like myself use? Should a break-even trader like myself? What leverage should a break-even? Okay, I'm not too sure if I understand this, because you're saying what leverage should a break-even trader, or you want to say breakout trader, ne? I think you want to say breakout trader, because break-even would be when you enter, the market moves, and then you move your stop loss to entry. That's a break-even method. So leverage, but I would say I stick to leverage of 1:500. That's the leverage that I play around with. So 1:500 is good for, I think, most people too. Let me play a bit more with the lenses to see if it's a bit more too focused. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, how to manage drawdown month? A drawdown month, how do you manage it? Okay, so I wouldn't say that it's a negative, as long as you keep on playing around with the same amount of risk. Then at the end, like, you should be able to understand that the good side, the reward side of it is actually exponential. Because take a look at this, like when I started backtesting the strategy that I trade, that's when I started to gain confidence, because I didn't know that I was consistent up until I saw myself backtesting and getting these results. So for you to be able to go through a drawdown month and be able to go through it is for you to really know for sure that a month, like a drawdown month, is gonna come, or a drawdown week is gonna come. And by doing that, you have to do what? You have to backtest, and you have to see that there'll be a time whereby I take 7 losses, but afterwards, that's when it'll be, you'll get through that stage. And then the good side is that you'll be able to just recover and then go through it. So you just managing a drawdown month is, you shouldn't just you can either take a thing, chill. Like sometimes if I do get to lose a bit more, I just chill, stay a bit more away from the markets, maybe a day or a few hours away from the markets. I don't look at the markets. I just distract myself with something. Or you can just get to, but like, don't emotionally get back into the markets, because that's when you're going to be involved in revenge trading, and it's going to kill you. Tabiz is asking, what encouraged you to leave what you were doing and follow the Forex market? So I was in school, I was in college, and what actually encouraged me to leave college, it was actually the fact that I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I never knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I knew that I wanted to make money just by making money, and not having to complicate things, having certificate, looking for a job, doing all these things. That was a bit more too complicated for me. But the Forex market was a way for me that I was able to see. Firstly, I was able to see youngsters like myself making money. So I was like, wow, youngster, myself making money. Wow, it's amazing. Why am I even doing this? And another thing is, just by the fact that, you don't even have to focus too much on the having to beg someone to hire you, or like complicated things. It actually encouraged me. And also, one thing that I disliked is that I was still in college, and my educators in college were teaching me on how to whatever that they were teaching me at school, and it didn't make sense, because I wanted to be successful, and what they were demonstrating wasn't a success, or even if it was success, but in their field of knowledge, they were successful knowledgely, if something like that is possible. But they didn't drive the car that I wanted. They didn't live in beautiful homes that I wanted. They didn't even have dreams that I want. Like, I would sit down with one of my lecturers and tell them, me, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be living up in one of the houses up in the hills and so on. Then they'll be like, Joe, you're dreaming. Those things are not possible. 1, 2, 3. Then I saw that, okay, no, this person is my teacher, but they're saying that such is not possible. Why am I even following them? Why am I even listening to them? So let me instead just leave and then listen or follow people that are actually succeeding, that are successful. But I didn't have any access to successful people close to me, so I just started off by going to YouTube, just searching for Rex to riches. I was watching that a lot when I was still in college. I was searching Rex to riches, people that came from nothing, that were broke, and that were able to be successful, because that I wanted someone to explain their story being in my shoes, because I can say from rich kid to multiple rich kids or something like that. So that's actually something that encouraged me. I didn't care because, you know, I knew I didn't want to follow my lectures. I don't want to follow my teachers. So I'd rather just go out there and stuff up until I get to eat. Bushelo is asking, I've noticed on your videos that you read books. Which business books did you find much more? Let me see. Which business did you find helpful? Okay, so right here, as you can see, I've got a book, Principles by Ray Dalio, very helpful. You know, Think and Grow Rich, super helpful. It's almost like a Bible, you know, business Bible. You know, Rich Dad Poor Dad is the one that changed everything for me. When I was still in college, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it changed everything for good. I never saw life the same way. The magic of thinking big. You know, what is it? The magic of believing too. So those are actually some of the books that I read. Actually, I even have, you know, 90 rules for entrepreneurs. It's actually a South African author. You know, I've read, you know, books by DJ's Boo. What else? I've actually got more books on the table. You know, millionaire success habits is what I'm reading now. I've read books on multiple things, you know. So if I'm focusing on a topic, I read books on that multiple times. Like, let's say if I want to study money is actually something that you have to study. If you're trading Forex, you also have to study money. You don't just go into, like, also The Intelligent Investor, but you don't just read, you know, the naked Forex. You don't just read books that are going to teach you about the strategy. You have to also read about money, because at the end of the day, this is money management, ne? So please teach us how to execute Sniper N3. Okay, so Sniper N3, I wouldn't say that there is like a specific method, but you know, it's all about, I would say that even Sniper N3, it's all about like getting the market at that significant zone and looking at a very smaller time frame. Let's say if I'm at the 1 hour, the 1 hour resistance line, you know, 15 minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but let's say 15 minutes, it's much more reliable. 15 minutes, once it does get to breakout and once it does come back with an engulfing candle or anything like that, then you execute a trade. On the 1 hour, it's gonna, you're gonna obviously catch it on the week of the 1 hour, but it's still a clean entry, ne? What's your pip range between the N3 and TP normal? And some of these, I'm just being brief, guys. There's a lot of questions here, so don't think that I'm just going through. What's your pip range between the N3 and TP normally? No. Okay, so from my N3 to TP, normally my stop loss wouldn't hit above 30 pips. So my TP would be 3 times more. So I'd say my range is 90 pips plus, 90 pips plus, since my stop loss is 90 pips more. I mean, since my stop loss is 30 pips and below. Okay, that was Sakile. Now it's Cool is asking which broker is the best in SA. The best in SA that I actually do even use, because I can't be speaking about something that I don't use, is CM Trading. You know, I like that broker. You know, they actually, I even have a relationship with them. I go to their offices, I speak with them, you know, it's like same day withdrawals and all these things. And also not only that, but you know, Nasdaq, I like the fact that you're able to enter with 0.01, unlike other brokers, which is just one lot and so on. Nasdaq, you can enter with 0.01, and which is nice. You also get to have, like, you know, people that are privately calling you and speaking to you about the relationship, like a relationship manager, ne? So it's same trading for me. I don't have a mentor, just a few courses. How long will it take me to be profitable on my own? I'd say, you know, profitable on your own, 8 months to a year and 2 months, somewhere around there, because you know, you have to fail on your own. You have to, it also depends on what kind, like, let's say for me, for instance, it took me long, like 8 months plus to even, like, you know, like, it took me a bit longer. But what I was doing is that I was working 18 hours a day, not even the time that I was working when I was still going in school. When I was still in college, I wasn't even studying that much, but when I dropped out of college, I knew that I had to make it work. So 18 hours a day, literally I would sleep on the floor, because I wanted it to be uncomfortable for me to not sleep longer. I'm not too sure if you understand. I would sleep at 2 a.m, wake up at 4:15, and get back to just reading, watching videos, doing all these things. So also depends on, you have to feel fast. Once you do get to feel fast, that's when you'll learn quicker. How much balance have you have when you start Forex? How much balance have when you start? Okay, asking what, I think he's asking what the balance is needed when you start Forex. So what the balance, I don't know, like it depends on the broker, but you know, I started with, I'm sure you're asking me because you said when you started Forex, I started with 300 rands, $22 That's when I funded my very first trading account. Did you teach yourself Forex or you were taught? I taught myself up until I got to a specific stage, and then that's when I went to get a mentor. But one thing that I like is that I got a mentor already when I understood Forex, already when I understood what was happening, already when I knew a lot of things. But I just wasn't seeing too much progress, and I was seeing people making tons of money. So I thought maybe I'm missing something. So that's when I went to get a mentor, up until I noticed that what I was missing is just the mindset. I was trading nicely. You can even see my very old charts. I was still trading nicely and all these things. I just lacked belief in me and also the mindset. Did you teach yourself Forex or you were self? Okay. Which trades not to enter? What trades not to enter? I'm not sure if I understand what trades not to enter, but I'm not too much into exotic currencies. I don't like them that much. Or even pairs that actually include CHF, but not USD CHF, but other pairs that include CHF, a bit more volatile. They're a bit more, they correlate. They correct a bit more for me. How long does it take to make 1 million from 10,000 rand? So Mushi is asking how long does it take to make 1 million from 10,000. So I wouldn't have a specific time frame because I didn't take 10,000 and take it all over to a million. So I wouldn't have a time frame unless if I did it, I'll be like, it took me 3 months, But it's not. It shouldn't take too long, especially if you are obviously following the right steps, not obviously risking too much. If you are risking too much, yes, it can take a month, 2 months, and 3 months. But if you are following the right steps, growing your account gradually, I had goals of my account just reaching a specific amount of money when the year started. This year started, I had goals of my accounts reaching specific amounts of money. But within 3 months in the month, I was already past that goal because I was respecting my capital, just doing all these things. And that's why I didn't, to be honest, I didn't believe that I'll be able to buy my car cash. I didn't believe it. It was impossible. If you told me, I'd be like, talking rubbish. I didn't believe it. So how can leverage blow your trading account? And how can I choose a suitable leverage? So suitable leverage, I would say 1:500. It's okay. It's good that you can go with. 1:200 is going to limit you so much. But how can leverage blow your account? Meaning leverage is actually the money that the brokers are willing to borrow you in order to open trades trades that are or lots that your account, your normal balance wouldn't be able to carry. So meaning that you can be able to use big lots on just a very small account. So obviously it means that you can grow your account quicker. I mean that if you enter with one lot on $100 account, just if a trade does go a few pips against you, then you're out. You're out. So 10 pips against you, then you're out. So that's how leverage does get to work. But also on the positive side, it helps because if it does go 10 pips in you, you have doubled your account. Please fund my account, Bayanda. You're always posting profits, but now you're asking me to fund your account. But don't worry, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So yeah, you guys just stay tuned. Make sure to also I'll leave the link to my Instagram channel so you can be able to just get access to it. Then we'll just see. Book names I can read to get better in trading. Naked Forex. There's Chimp Paradox. There's what else? There's actually the Trading Coach. Trading Coach, I read it multiple times. Investing Intelligence. What else? I've got multiple. I've read things, trading books. I've read a lot of them. 2018 is when I read a lot of these books. So I will make sure you're also in my Telegram group. So one thing that I'll do is that I'll give all these books. I'll go back to all these books that I've read and then I'll give them down because some of them I forgot them because after reading that I noticed that I needed to fix my mindset. So I stopped focusing a bit more about books on strategies, books. I read a lot of PDFs. So I stopped focusing a bit more on that and I started focusing a bit more about fixing my mindset in order for me to get money, because I was able to make a lot of money in the markets and then I lost it all. How? Because I wasn't ready to have money, but not because the market didn't love me and so on, no, but because I wasn't ready. So I've stopped reading about strategies and so on. I knew I got the strategy. I started reading about me as a person growing. So that's why most of these books, I would say I forgot them. I read them 2018, somewhere around there. How many times did you feel? Okay. Book. Okay. Cup and handle shape. Yes, I do know that method. I just never used it. The cup and handle method, ne? Strategy. I've just never used it. How many times did you fall to get it right? Multiple times. Multiple times. A lot of times. Like when I was 20 years old. Currently, I'm 22 years old. Yes. It's like I'm doubting. But when I was 20 years old, Joe, same labs. When I was 22 years old, I was able to go all the way up to 350,000 rands in cash on me when I was 20 years old, and I lost it all, like negatives, lost it all. So that was a bit more depressing. It wasn't too good for me. My daughter was still coming. I just had a baby. All these things are happening, so it wasn't nice. But I fell multiple times. I would say maybe 3 or 4 times. But it's lessons. I wouldn't say that I fall and I'm down. It's lessons. What books do you recommend to deal with my psychology? Because man, away JJ. So psychology, like I said, the trading coach is actually a good book that I read multiple times. That's why it's the one that I keep on referring to a lot of times. And also, like some of these books, what is it? Not the Candlestick Bible, because it's not psychology, but there's also, I forgot what the book was all about, but it's actually a psychology book that was speaking about hedge funding and how it is to get the mindset right. So I just went and searched for psychology books on trading, and then it gave me a lot of them. Then I just read. So one that helped me, that I even till this day, when something happens, when I feel like I'm not following my trading plan, the one that makes me go back and look into it is actually the trading coach. Ne? Almost like it was my mentor. That book was my mentor. Please talk about the importance of risk management. Risk management, it's almost that is neza. Risk management, to be honest, it's almost like when you have money but you can't keep money. Like it's like you can have 10,000 rands on you, I can have 10,000 rands on me. A few weeks down the line, let's say 2 months down the line, you come back with a pair of Gucci shoes. I come back with, I don't know, 250,000 rands still chilling, and something like that. It's like risk management is actually you being able to just take a look at the risk of the capital that you have and calculate how much are you willing to risk in order to still preserve your capital. Because the most important thing about Forex is to preserve your capital. So if you are risking much, way more than what your capital is going to be taking, within a few months or a few weeks, you're not going to be having that capital to trade with. So the most important thing is to manage it in a way that it preserves your capital and you don't get to ever blow your account. Ne? So that's the whole importance of it. You need to have a risk strategy, either risk per dollar or per percentages. How to start trading. Okay, I'm not too sure. I've got a video where I speak about how one can actually start getting into the markets, but some of these questions, I don't even know how to answer it, like how to start trading. I don't even know where to start, because like you have to get a broker, you have to obviously have a bank account that accepts online purchases, fund that bank, deposit into your broker account, validate your broker. You've got a registered broker, you can now trade, and now it's all about getting knowledge and knowing when to buy and when to sell. So how long does it take for a person to become a profitable trader by joining your course? So with this one, I can't really be specific because I don't want to be giving false hopes, because there's members that came in my group and were profitable within, the first week. They were profitable within the first month. And there's members that took, 3 to 6 months to also be profitable. But at the end of the day, they are gaining that consistent profitability, which is amazing. So I can't really say that like me, when I joined like the mentorship that I took, we spoke about it. When I did join it, within 1 month already I was gone. Like I was doing a lot of things because I already knew some stuff. I already knew some important things. So I just needed to stack things up and believe in myself and all these things, So other people, you are still very beginner, nothing. It's gonna be tough. It also depends on if you are a fast learner or a slow learner and all these things. But at the end of the day, it's all about becoming profitable within at least a few months. But I would say the time frame would be 3 to 6 months. How do you manage your emotions while trading? I don't insert my emotions into trading, but it's painful. You know, at times you can be looking at money, just negatives. I can be chilling with my daughter, she's sitting on my lap, playing, smiling, all these things. When I go into my account, my trading account, I just took, you know, a loss, 5,000 loss, and obviously it's a loss that I was willing to take, but you know, I'm just chilling with her, and you know, when I look into my account, I lost 5,000, which is not good. So a way that I deal with my emotions is to not attach my emotions into my trading, and I tell myself, you know, if I do get to attach my emotions, obviously I'll need to punish myself in order for me to not be able to attach my emotions anymore. And by doing that, obviously risk something that you're willing to lose. So when you do lose it, you can smile and say, wow, like there should be trades that if it goes against you, should just smile and say, yeah, that one I saw that was gonna go against me. You know, shouldn't always be like, why me, why? No, it shouldn't be that way. But I'm feeling the pressure. How much do I need to start a stable FX account? Stable, I don't understand. Like, I wouldn't understand what your meaning of stable would say, because you know, you might find out that with stable you already have expenses, you want to take care of those expenses. Obviously you're gonna need a much more bigger account when doing that, because let's say if you are able to make $200 profits a month, not a week, not a day, but a month, would you be able to live with that? Yes, no. So obviously if it's yes, then it means that it's okay. Like, you know, you can start off first with even $1,000 account, you know, and let that. I'm speaking like the professional way of trading. There's ways where you can just literally jump into the markets and double your account immediately, but I'm not speaking of those ways, ne? Okay, what advice can you give a 16-year-old kid who can analyze the charts but is not too sure about his setups? You have to just believe in them, and in order for you to believe in them, you have to backtest. See when you see these types of setups, do they go accordingly, do they not go accordingly? Learn from them so that you can be able to take more better setups moving forward. Yeah, I love to ask, but I don't know English that much. I would like to video call. Okay, no problem, we'll have a video call. Joel, how long did it take you to understand Forex? It took me a year and 2 months. Okay, to understand consistency and so on, a year and 2 months. But to really know what's happening, it didn't take me too long. It took me like, you know, a few weeks, because I was reading too much about what is Forex, what does it work, how does it work. Then I understood how it works, but to make money is something else. Can you make a living if you have $100 account without a job? You can make a living if you don't have expenses, but if you have expenses, then you're going to be trading under pressure, and it's not the way that we want. Forex, when did it start? When did Forex start? I don't know. Like, it started a long time ago, ever since currencies came. How can I kill the market like you? Okay, being a mentor is for helping others or for well-known. Okay, being a mentor is for helping others or for well-known. I'd say it's for helping others. I wouldn't think a person wants to be a mentor to be well-known. I don't think that it's the right thing to do, just to be well-known. Instead, if you want to be well-known, you can just be a very great trader, and you don't have to mentor people, and you just have to be a very good trader, you know. But it's for helping others. Do you have a special trading system, or you keep it clean? I keep it super clean on my charts. Do trading sessions have an impact on price action and pace? Yes, I would say that they actually do have an impact, because, you know, once the market opens of that specific pair, you know, or that specific currency, that's when it's going to start being a bit more volatile. That's when it's going to start to move a bit more into that specific direction. So yeah, even though you can still make money when the banks are closed or when it's not during the session, just the market is moving a bit more slower at that time. What was the first thing you thought of when you figured school is not for you? What was the first thing you thought of when you figured school is not for you? That's Buski. The first thing that I thought of when I figured out school is not for me, I'm not sure if I would be able to understand, to answer this question in a much more appropriate manner, but you know, I never had an interest in school. Like, it was just that way. I didn't have any interest in school. So, like, you know, when I thought, like, I knew before even Forex and all this, that school is not for me, I knew that I was wasting my time. And because I want to learn, but not science when I want to be an entrepreneur, not, you know, cutting the throats when I actually want to be something else, you know. So some things that you learn at school are not even needed. How many accounts do you have? I've got 4 accounts, 4 trading accounts, 1 ZAR and $3. Yeah, $3, 1 ZAR. Others I just play around with them and stuff. Okay, so there's actually a lot of questions that I just noticed. It's like too much questions, and so far the video is going on for more than 40 minutes. And I actually wanted us to read somewhere around there because I don't think a lot of members are going to be able to watch. But it actually is a good thing to see you guys, engaging with the questions and answers that I do have here. And one thing that I'll do is that I'll just be picking, because it's like literally, guys, I've got more than 700 questions and I can't even go through all of them. I'm only now when I page through, I see that I'm still at the beginning, and imagine how long we've been on this.